Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks Part 2. In Part 1, if you didn't see it, it's the making of this puzzle and telling about it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw it. I used the graph paper tool and I set it on 20 by 20, and you can make it smaller. And I'm going to hold down the control button and I'm going to make a graph, but I only want my puzzle to be, let's say 12 by 12. So by doing that, if we take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, we have a 0.6 inch block, which is over ½ an inch. So it's really, pretty big, but I think it'll give the people, one, it'll be more sturdy, and two, it'll give them something to, now like you could make it 11 by 11. And then when you take the Smart Fill, and you could do this with the parallel dimension tool to figure that out. But see, that's still over ½ an inch. So we'll go with that. Now to make the outside edge, I just thought it'd be easier to give them something to start with than just a square. And you could do anything you wanted to here. So we're at 11 inches. I'm going to set my nudge factor on 13. And I'm just going to take the Smart Fill tool and I'm going to fill in just every once in a while a block. Maybe try not to do the corner, and just kind of, this is going to be your puzzle. And maybe you could do like this, so they tell them to start with that this is the bottom, that they need to, if they have any idea of what it should be. Now, what I'm going to do is nudge my table out of the way, and I'm going to group these together, Control G. That way I can move them later, but they're still there for my reference. And I'm not going to go through the whole puzzle, but you'll get the idea. Now I'm going to go to a Smart Fill. I'm going to get a different color, and I'm going to start making my shape of my puzzle. And I'm going to call that a good one. You just don't want to leave a part where you can't get to it. You don't want to back yourself into and I'd make some long ones at first, so you can't go here. You've got to go, where they're going to be like this. And, it might even help for them to have a long one. Then while you still got that same color, the colors have no reference. And then see, if I do this one has 6 and 1, this is 4 and 1. So they're a little bit different. But over here, you don't want to do the same thing. So you're going to go maybe like that. And I'm just using one color right now to, just so I can help fill it in. So this is the fun part. And what we're going to do, you don't want to, if you block that in, then you're stuck with making a 6 by 6 square. And, just kind of go around it. The colors right now have no meaning. We're going to change colors here in just a second, because I want to be able to weld, you could have a piece like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to nudge this out of the way, nudge my blue out of the way, and I'm going to weld these together. And by welding them together, I made the puzzle pieces. Now I'm going to turn them back to green, because I'm going to take away the outline, and I'm going to put this back over, and now I'm going to take a different color. Now you could do, well, it's so much easier for me anyway to weld them individually. And I'm going to let's take a red. So now we're going to go like that, have some small pieces, maybe, see, and now this would be a duplicate piece, except for this is you don't want too many, almost at the end you might have to, but, and you don't want any little bitty straight pieces. So I'm just going to do this and just try to go through it real quick. See, there's a unique piece, make this a unique piece. The colors right now, like I said, don't matter at all. I'm just doing it so I can group it together in just a second, you'll see. And, you know, try to make some unusual shapes that they might, you could even do this. I did not do this in the first puzzle. There's a unique shape that might be hard or easy to put in places. I don't think you're going to want too many shapes of the same size. Like right here, if I don't stop this, I'm going to make this unusual because it's going to be a straight line. So there's a part you don't have. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to grab my blue and nudge it. I'm going to grab my other line and nudge it. I'm going to grab my green and nudge it. And now I'm going to take all these and I'm going to weld them. Go to grab it all and go to weld. And what the weld did, it just like it did a while ago, is make it our individual pieces. Now, if you do make your own, you're not going to have, these lines are going to be cut twice unless you have E-cuts or something else, which I don't know that there is something else, to divide those lines, because it is going to be a double cut. And hopefully someday I'll have E-cuts back. Long story. But, so here I'm going to go and just kind of make some new shape. I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing, but, just make some unusual shapes. Now, the orange is going to be a little bit hard to differentiate, but like I said, the color right now does not matter. And I'm trying to see, like right here where I'm talking about, there's an L. Well, you can make it a U. You could even go further. So some of the pieces you want big. Some of them, you don't want just a 3-liner. You want something like that. You just got to have them touching. And we'll do a few more. See, like that. Anyway, then that's why I'm doing this now. If you take the red and nudge it, the blue to nudge it, and green that nudge it, and the bar that nudge it, you can weld this, and it makes it all one piece, and then left click, right click, because it makes the individual pieces. And then you don't have to, you could nudge that and nudge the whole thing over. I don't know why I'm compelled to finish it. Well, I do. I'm going to get the outside done, then I'm going to show you how to get the pattern on the outside. So I'm going to pick yellow this time, and I'm going to do it real quick. I might not finish the middle. You could have this whole thing one big piece, and it might make it easier for them. Like you could do this. I'm just going to do this, make some bigger pieces. Now, like, right here, you don't have to do that. Say like right here, this is a good example of a nice piece. And then the next piece, and just the reason I'm using color is so I can weld everything together and still have them separate. So I'm just going to do the outside, not worry about the inside for finish it, because I want to show you how to get that done. Do the outside cut. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take the red, the blue, the green, the orange, and the graph, and we're going to weld the yellow. So let's say we have the whole thing done. Let's go and take the green back, the red back, the orange back, and not, well, okay, I need one more piece. Let's see, one more piece I haven't done. I need a piece right here to finish the, let's go with another color. And if you don't have no interest in doing this, just stop watching. But I'm going to show you how to get to where you can have the pattern. So I've got all that. So now I can actually get rid of the blue, move the orange over, move the green over, move the yellow over, move that, and you'd have more. And I'm going to move it down, and then I'm going to weld it, and then move it back, and then move this over. Now, to get rid of the, I'm going to get rid of the graph. Okay. Now these inside parts won't leak. So we started out at that. I am going to take, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to shift select the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to take the shift key, and I'm going to grow a little bit, about that distance. Now I'm going to take black, and voila, there's your outside piece. And then once you finish it, you will left click, right click in red. So you know it's a cut piece. And then after you've done it, you can make it any size you want. You just put them all together. We don't need any of this anymore. It's a really easy process. Okay, I see a mistake I made. You can't have a single dot in there, and that's fixable. And so what we can do is take the yellow and nudge it out of the way, and go ahead and just fill in that with the yellow. You might have to break them apart for it to weld, but it might weld anyway. No, it did not. So we're going to have to go up here and go to group and break the curve apart, and then weld it again, because you cannot have that single dot in there. Now, all your outside's done. Just, play with the colors. You could now, and you can stop watching. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I'm going to use this deep purple. And all I'm going to do is just kind of fill in what's left with one. And I was seriously thinking this is going to be really hard. Look at that. So we could actually, because I don't have my grid, which I deleted, you could make the last pieces really big. That might even help them. And still make it difficult. But what you need to do is nudge everything out of the way that we previously worked on. And you wouldn't want to probably do that, but that really might help somebody. And then weld that, because if you don't, you won't have this. And then if you do all this, you can left click, right click. Now, and what I was saying, if you don't have E-cuts as something that can take the duplicate lines away, this is going to have to cut every piece, and try to explain this. It's going to have, you can almost see the double lines. It's going to have to cut it. It's going to have to cut this piece, and then when it cuts this piece, it's going to recut that piece. Now this will work, but it's going to take a long time to cut. It's going to take twice as long because it's having to go around every piece. Now, I did it yesterday and it worked. So it's not like it won't work. But before you do anything with the color, after you're through, let's just put it there. Make a copy of this and save it. Because this one might not be too hard, but the one you're going to get, and this one will be easy to cut, I don't think I could put it together. I put it together yesterday because I had this. So you won't get this. You're going to get, because I'm not very proud of that, but you can make your own. You're going to get this when you ask for it. I've got my email at the bottom, number 1, but I'll put it at number 2. And it's also going to be on my Facebook page and Epilogue's fan page. Anyway, fun project. And I can't remember, I said in the last video, I made it out of 3 layers of MDF. If I cut this out tomorrow, I'm going to make this MDF, make this 1/8 inch plywood and this 1/8 inch plywood. That way, when this is glued to this, it'll be pretty sturdy. And I think 1/8 inch plywood is going to work. The reason I'm going to do it, because 1/4 inch MDF leaves a char, and I'm not going to take the time to get rid of the char. And 1/8 inch plywood doesn't leave a char, it just tans the end, makes the ends brown, which is kind of, to me, attractive. But then think about what you're going to put to help them if you're going to help them. Maybe make 2. Give them this one and then engrave something. I'm thinking about engraving the Aztec calendar just kind of on the center of the round part and then just leave some of it open. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.